I hit it. I think we're live.
We are live.
We are live. All right. I'm going to start the podcast. Let's get this going here. What is up, everyone? This is T-Formation Conversation. I'm your host, Lester Wildfung, editor-in-chief at Windy City Gridiron. And I am joined today by a special guest, Dan Shorty Sciortino. Did I get the name right?
Shortino, yes.
Shortino, okay. He is the owner-operator of Bears Country Podcast. Is there anything else I have to plug here?
Nope, you got it, man.
Oh, okay. So I was telling you on the pre-show, normally what I do on my show on Fridays is I just kind of jump into the injury report. That's kind of what I've done the last couple of years. Last year, Dr. Mason West guested with me, and it was like, oh my God, this guy knows the stuff. So I kept it rolling. There's no injury report for the Bears today. So I figured I'll get you on. We got a cool thing coming up here on Sunday, me and you together. We're going to talk about it a little bit after the break. But before that, as tradition's sake, we are going to get in the injury report here just because that's what people are used to on my Friday night podcast. So bam, I got some stuff here. The Bears, man, what happened? This is a healthy team now. Dylan Cole is all we got that's questionable. Were you expecting the Bears to come out of camp and out of offseason preseason this healthy?
I was not. I was expecting Brisker was going to be on the list. I thought that Whitehair would be on the list. I thought that Darnell Wright might be on that list.
Bum ankle.
Eddie Jackson, he's on there, but
he's on. It's funny because like the way the Bears list it, for some reason, if you're watching on the video here on Second City Gridiron, the Bears report says unspecified. For whatever reason, I don't know why what that is. They have no injured designation. The only injured Bear is reserve linebacker Dylan Cole. You talk about Brisker, Eddie Jackson, Mercedes Lewis, DeMarcus Walker. They were all on the report at some point earlier this week because of limited practice. In the case of Mercedes Lewis, he's just an old guy. He give him the time off. And then Nate Davis, of course, is on the list.
Yeah, that's another one I expected too. But it's personal. It's a personal thing. So. I mean, it's kind of a testament to what the Bears, how they run their system as far as giving out the injuries, right? Because they don't have to give the injuries before the season starts.
No.
So why would you give opponents any idea as to what's going on? Because unless they're long term to where they're going to miss the season or half the season or something, it's best to keep that to your vest, right? You don't want everyone to know who's. And so now here we go into the season, bada boom, bada bing. The guys weren't playing. Why? Because they just wanted to make sure they gave them enough time to remain healthy, to continue to get healthy, I should say. And boom, we go into the season and we're ready to roll.
I know as fans and as media members, you want to get the information. You want to know what's going on there. But you know what? No team, I mean, it's not just the Bears. No team gives out information, prior to the season, prior to that Friday or the Wednesday before the first game. That's when they have to really give their stuff. In the case of Thursday night's game, I think it was might have been Saturday they had to give it out. But it's just what it is. But I want to ask about Nate Davis because he was in and out of practice all offseason, all training camp. There was some talk about an injury. From what I understand, there was an actual injury at some point he had there where it kind of it caused him to come along slowly. There were also some rumblings about Nate Davis, and he wasn't the most engaged practice player in Tennessee. That rumor kind of popped up and kind of followed him here to Chicago. Mm-hmm. And then the other day, I can't remember who tweeted it out, but someone tweeted it out. I don't know if you saw this. When he practices, he has a sweating thing. And I never heard of this before. Did you see this thing on Twitter?
I did not.
All right. So here's the deal. So apparently in Tennessee, he sweats so profusely. One practice, he was reported to have lost 13 pounds. It's just a thing that he goes through in practice. Now, I don't know if that had something to do with what he missed time in training camp. I don't know if it's even legit. It was a site that had an article when he was in Tennessee. I saw it. I thought it was interesting. I'm like, wow, that's odd. It could be what it is. But, from what I understand, the players all love him. Even in Tennessee, no one said anything bad about him. Here in Chicago so far, everything's been fine. So look, if Nate Davis goes out there on Sunday and he handles his business and he plays well and the Bears can run for a bunch of yards and he protects Justin Fields, I don't think no one's going to care. Nate Davis had a personal day on
nobody's going to give it. Nobody's going to care. But I can relate to that. I'm a sweater. I'm not like a sweater that you wear, but like as I've gotten older, it's weird. I live in a very humid area in the Atlanta area. After growing up in Chicagoland, it's much different. And man, I just sometimes I just walk outside just to water my garden, and I'm just pouring sweat. I mean, I should say every time. So I can get that. I'm going to the Tampa Bay game here. I'm in Florida right now. We're going to the Tampa Bay game, and I'm very worried about that game. Just sitting there sweating, the sun beating down on us. I'm gonna have a cooling towel packed with ice. So if that's a legitimate issue, I can understand. I mean,
very strange.
It is. Some people have that. I guess I can relate to it because I feel like I have that issue too. Not to be too much TMI here, but I get it. Like I often wonder, how can people practice or play in Miami? How can you do it?
It's a different kind of shape, man. When you're out there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to ask Mason about that. Like I said, he usually does the show with me. I know he touched on the Nate Davis situation on his last night show. So if you guys have not caught that yet, bare bones, he had Kyrie Thompson, who has been on the NFL beat for a few years. I think now he's actually covering the Ravens. Prior to that, I think he covered the Patriots, but he's a long-time Bears fan. So he joined Mason last night. So make sure you check out that show on the channel, on the Windy City Gridiron podcast channel, and on the video channel, Bare Bones, wherever you prefer to get your stuff. But let's jump over to the Packers because, like I said, there's nothing really much to talk about the Bears. Dylan Cole, this is his first practice in like a month. He's not playing. And I don't think it matters because they'll just bring a guy from the practice squad. No big deal. But the Packers, though, they're missing Christian Watson, who is their electrifying wide receiver. I know Bears fans know him well because last year he popped off for a rushing touchdown, 40-some yards. He had a receiving touchdown.
He looked good with Jordan Love at the end of the year too when they played a little bit. That kind of scared us. Yeah,
he is legit big physical specimen, a big fast guy, a threat. He's the number one. He's out. Romeo Doubs, who was a rookie last year in class as well, he's questionable with a hamstring as well. Limited practice the last 2 days. From what I understand, I was kind of doing some Twitter sleuthing from the Packer beat guys. They're not sure 50-50 if he plays or not. So if they don't play, man, this is a 2022 Bears style receiving core that Jordan Love has in his first game.
If he does play, it's still a bunch of first and second year receivers.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't play, they're down to like a bunch of mostly rookies and like one second year player. Their receiving core is not experienced.
No.
So I believe they're just going to try to pound the ball down our throats, and we have to be ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, plus the tight ends, they're inexperienced as well. I think they have a couple rookies top of their depth chart, a second-year guy up there. So, but like you said, they're going to pound the rock. Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, that system has been in place for several years now. The O-line is outstanding. David Bakhtiari, who has not practiced in a few weeks, he's going to play apparently, starting left tackle. He's going to have a little bit of rust, I would assume. And I know he's a veteran. He's done this a lot, but he had not played with pads on in a few weeks. So there might be some rust there for Yannick Ngakoue to take advantage of possibly, or DeMarcus Walker. But
Lord,
how do you see this game going? Do you see you said they're going to try and run the ball. Do you think the Bears can stop the Packers rushing attack?
Well, first off, I'd like to acknowledge everyone in chat here. Brian, I am Skokes, Hair Bear. It's great to see you guys. They're like, Shorty, nice.
I think that this is your crew, man. They popped over from your channel.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. Lester, we talked about this on the PSF app that we're going to talk about here soon when we did our first trial run show. Kind of a disaster, so don't watch it. Wait for the game this weekend, but we worked out the kinks, I think. I said then that if the Brett Favre era ended, we go into Aaron Rodgers. I laughed at that draft pick, and then he became better than Favre. And now we go into Jordan Love. And what worries me with watching Jordan Love is if you replace the number and just put 12 on him, it's almost like he looks like the same player. Like you can tell he really studied under Aaron Rodgers, and got his mannerisms down, his flick of the wrist, his footwork, how I feel like I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers play when I see him play. And I know he's only going into his first real start of the did he have a start before?
I think he had one start last year.
Okay. Yeah,
so end, and this is the second start ever. Yeah.
So that combined with the lack of experience at wide receiver, I was talking to Brian Gilmore just before the show. He kind of calmed my nerves with this, that they have an inexperienced receiving core. Our secondary is one of our strengths.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a little bit less worried about it now. But for a second there, my normal process is to hit the panic button as we get closer to the games, because you're like, you think you can win this. We talk about we have all this confidence, the whole off season. And then when it comes to game one against the Packers, as you start to creep into that, you're just like, oh, but I am feeling a lot better about it now. I think we're going to get this win. I really do.
The angst is building up for sure. I know Bill Zimmerman on his Bears Banter podcast, he's talked about how he's scared shitless over this game because as Bears fans, the last 3 decades, it's really all we've known. I mean, I'm old enough, you're old enough to know a little bit of the 80s. So it's like we saw a little bit of that era where we're like, okay, the Packers always sucked, but 30 years, man. And then this morning I was listening to the I think it was the WSCR in Chicago here, and they were talking about Jordan Love, what to expect from Jordan Love. And I forget which host it was, but he had a good point. The Packers had a chance to move off of Jordan Love, and they decided not to. When they gave Aaron Rodgers that big contract, that was a time where they could have said, you know what, we just signed for this big deal. Let's go ahead and move Jordan Love while there's still a little bit of value there. But for some reason, they liked what they saw out of him. They believed in his development. And that's a good coaching staff there. So if they trust in Jordan Love and what he's going to bring to the table, he might not be as bad as Bears fans want him to be.
Right. And I think exactly what you're saying is correct. He's been in the system. He's been learning behind a Hall of Fame quarterback for what year is he in? It feels like, is this his 5th year?
This is his 4th year. Justin Fields is in his 3rd year. He's going into his 4th. So, I mean, essentially you could say it's a make or break for Love. Obviously, the Packers have the 5th-year option they could pick up, but
no, they actually restructured that.
Oh, they did. That's right. They did do that. Yeah. So it's
they,
one of the situations where
he can make $25 million.
Okay,
that's
right.
With all they kind of made it an incentive-laden contract. If he doesn't perform, he'll make less than what he made. He would have made if they would have signed the 5th-year option.
So they got him for 2 years.
Yeah,
but still, they can get out of the deal if they needed to. So. And there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the draft. So
yeah, right. And they have a bunch of picks still, don't they?
Yeah, I think they got some. I mean, they have some ammo to move up if they had to. But it's going to be a fun game. So we had our picks at WCG. All of our writers that participate, we all picked the Bears. We all think it'll be close, but we all think the Bears can pull it off. Are you in the same boat? Are you picking the Bears on Sunday?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I am.
Would you be surprised if the Packers pulled it out?
I don't want to swear on your show because I don't know if I can, but I'll just say no.
Yeah, I mean it's like I said, it's the angst is real, man, with Bears fans. It's all we've seen. We've seen, I'm not sure the record, but Aaron Rodgers only lost like 4 or 5 games, and before that, Favre had his way with things. So it's. I
was so excited when Favre was gone.
Yeah.
And then he came along, and that championship game, I'm going to tell you what, that championship game loss, it was like a short circuit went off in my brain. Like I stopped caring about football for about 2 years because I'm like, how can this happen?
Yeah.
Lester, we're going to talk about that in a minute here, but we're going to be watching the game together on PSF. And I'm just, everyone's going to see a side of me that's going to be like, wow, yeah, this guy loves the Bears and hates the Packers. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's how he grew up. So I'm going to get a quick break here for the podcast side of things. And on the other side, we're going to talk about the app that we've been kind of teasing here in the first segment.
Yeah.
All right, we are back. Shorty is with me, Bears Country Podcast. And the reason I wanted to bring Shorty on is because we recently met. I mean, we've known each other on Twitter for a little while. I did his show 3 or 4 weeks ago. But Sean Salisbury, former NFL quarterback, former ESPN media member. He does stuff, I think, for Sirius now. He does a bunch of stuff. But he's the president of the Pro Sports Fan app. And there's a lot of heavy hitters involved in this. And basically what it is, it's an app for your phone, and it's kind of like the Manning cast thing where there's people talking while the game's happening, but they're letting us be interactive. So me and Shorty got paired up. There's 6 of us involved with the Bear side of things, and they decided to pair the 2 of us up. So we are going to be debuting our game cast this Sunday. We drew the first game. I don't know if it's luck or what, but
no, we kind of had to. Nobody else was taking it.
No one else did. So we're going to be talking on the Pro Sports Fan app. Right now it's only available on Apple. The Google Play thing is in the works. I guess they're waiting for approval, so it may even be open and ready to go by Sunday. But right now it's just Apple only. But so if you're on Apple, get the Pro Sports Fan app. Get it. It's like chat rooms. I'm not even sure what the hell it's like the best of a lot of social media in one place.
Everything combined. You can find all your favorite teams if you're a Bears fan, but you're a Knicks fan, and whatever. If you're a fan of all Chicago sports teams, every single team is on there. If you're a golf fan, if you're I don't know, NASCAR might be on there. I'm not sure, but like every sport is on there. Tennis, baseball, basketball. Find your favorite teams, hockey, and you can join the chat rooms in there and interact. Every single chat room is going to have a game cast for their games. The Astros was the one that they started off with because they just won the World Series, so that was they kind of were trying to kick that one off, and it's been a big hit. So you can find any of your favorite teams on there. You can be a part of the chat. It's an ongoing chat that's constantly going, and you can just be a part of it. There's a stream section for all the streams that are done on there. You can go to the stream section, watch all the different shows like Lester and I's, the other 2 teams that we have for the Bears, Keek on the Mic, and Adam Sager and Dave Zaslowski are the other 2 teams.
I'm glad you have their names ready to go because I remember Adam. I can't remember the other names.
I've been working on that. And everyone has their own show names. So our show is the Armchair Bears.
Yeah. and like you said, we did debut this last Tuesday at 6. The chat, the show is in the chat, but like Shorty said, we had some technical difficulties, some equipment malfunctions. We're working through the kinks because we are going to be live at the kickoff's 3:25. I'm not sure what time we're going to go live, but so if you've done Twitter Spaces, if you're familiar with that, it's a similar concept to where in this chat, in this Pro Sports Fans app, everyone's in the chat. Me and Shorty be talking, but if you want to comment, we'll see your comment. If you want to ask to speak, we can plug you in. If you have a mic set up or a camera set up, we can kind of bring you on the show to kind of ask a question, kind of say something. We'll try and let everyone watch the game. We won't bother people too much, but commercial time, nobody wants to watch Downey or Clorox. Man, let's talk Bears. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, look at Don Burr, our guy here. He's a favorite of the show here. That was a nice win by the Lions yesterday.
It was a 1-point win with a bunch of dropped balls because he didn't have his top receiver. Come on. They're one of the best defensive players.
You can't take nothing away from that. That line was good. Goff made plays when he had to. It was good stuff. But if for Don, get the Pro Sports Fan app. You can jump in our chat there, and you can talk some shit to us. You can go into Lions chat. I forget who the Lions Mediacasters are, but
they just announced a new one today.
They did it. I saw that today. I knew it popped up today. So every sports team has their own room, their own chat. Get in there, be interactive. Let's have fun with it, and let's see where this takes us. Because it's a cool concept.
It's really cool because the other part that I failed to mention is you can post GIFs and pictures and things to the room, the chat room, we can pull them up and make them like the headline, gift that you sent us. You can come in the show, like Lester was saying, and talk with us. It won't be for the whole show, but if we're doing a commercial, we can bring you guys in for a minute or two at a time, and you can have questions for us ready or whatever. You can also come in via just audio if you don't want to have your face out there. But it's really cool because there's so many. It's like Twitter, Facebook. It's like everything combined, which is really cool. I'm looking forward to what this is going to bring in the future, in 5 years from now, what this app is going to be. It's going to be huge because if you can't get the game in your area and you don't want to pay the YouTube ridiculous fees or you can't afford them, you can go on this free PSF app and hang out with us while we're watching the game. We're not going to be giving you play-by-play, but you will know what's going on. There's going to be a live ticker going on that gives you all the stats in real time.
In real time, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just going to be fun. You're going to be hanging out with Lester and I on our phones, watching the game like fans with us.
Now, you already said you're kind of wild during game time. Are you going to be like, like that?
Well,
are you like throw the pop or the beverage at the TV? Are you that wild? Are you we're not going to have that happen, are we?
I have punched holes in doors.
Oh, okay.
But that's when I had a lot more testosterone. I was a lot younger. Now I'm.
We'll have to get a separate video feed just on you for your reactions, because if something does happen, you are going to go viral because you'll be that knucklehead Bears fan that breaks the television. Don't be that guy.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm more going to be because it's on our phones. So I bought this really cool thing.
Yeah, you're showing me, man. You're going to have the whole apparatus.
So you can connect your phone there. It's got this long tube that you can screw down to a table or something. Amazon, not very expensive at all. But if I'm watching I'm normally pacing around when I'm watching a Packers-Bears game. I'm on my feet pacing around, so it might be a little chaotic. I apologize. I'll try to sit down as much as I can, but the nerves are going to be going, and I'm like, it's a Packers game. It's Packers week.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I tend to I'm a little more chill, just kind of I just kind of watch the game. Big plays, I get excited. I'm not sure how much I'll scale that back because I know I'm going to be recording. I don't want to be the knucklehead that goes viral because I would hate to have that happen. I don't have that fancy apparatus like you do yet, so I'm working on something. Like I said, my room here is under construction.
Yeah, I was just going to say you're back there. You're getting it painted. It looks great.
So I'm working on that. I got some lighting issues. I got mic issues. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have the camera on, but we'll be there.
Oh no, no, my friend. If I'm going to be walking around with the camera in my hand pacing, then you're going to have the camera in your hand. So don't make me hanging out with an avatar the whole game.
Okay. I'll go off and on,
Okay,
but we will have. We're doing what, 5 games this year?
Well,
5 or 6, and then like I said, there's three total crews. They'll have the other games, and then each pairing will have a show during the week, and our show's going to be Tuesdays at 6. As long as both our schedules match up. I know if the Bears play Monday night, we may have to kind of tweak that a little bit, but yeah, it should be fun, man. I mean, I know when they first approached me about this, I'm like, I don't get it. I'm so confused, and I learned a little more, and I'm like, okay, I guess it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's what works over here, what works over there. I'm like, I can see how that could be fun, and because these days, everyone hates the announcers, and it's like,
well, we're just gonna be sitting here like this. So what do you think, Lester? Nobody wants that. They want the fan reaction, But whether you're chill sitting there, doing your own thing, I'm probably not gonna be as ridiculous as I'm saying I will be, but it is a Packers game. I know I'm gonna be on the air. I will try to. I won't be walking around with the phone, so it's like looking like what's that documentary movie that they made the black and white one, whatever. Yeah. No, nothing like that. But
Blair Witch Project.
Witch Project. Thank you.
No one put Shorty in the corner though.
You can pull me like we do on my show. You mess up, you get pulled. But just to let everybody know, the games that Lester and I are signed up for, it is game 1 versus the Packers. It is game 4 versus the Broncos. And then the Los Angeles Raiders, October 29th. I'm sorry, the Los Angeles Rams, October 29th. And then we have the Carolina game. That'll be fun because
that's a big one.
We have 2 teams to root for this year: the Bears to win and the Panthers to lose. So that will be the November 9th game, and then we have the next, or the second Detroit game, December 10th. And I think we're gonna have to pick one more game, which it'll probably be the last Green Bay game because of my schedule. But if I can make it happen, if not, but it'll be either the Arizona, Atlanta, or Green Bay game, one of those last 3. So check us out.
Yeah, well, it'll be fun. And like I said, check everyone else out. Make sure you join the app. Follow us. We'll follow you back. They're just trying to get this thing built up to be everyone's go-to, for their sports stuff, and it should be fun. Like I said, Twitter seems to be dying a slow death. It sucks because it's been such a big thing for Bears fans, for years. Facebook is what it is. But yeah, this is something new, something fresh. It should be fun. And plus, like I said, it's got some heavy hitters backing it. Some people on the tech side of things, which I know nothing about. From what I understand, it's the parent company. They've been doing this stuff, and it should be a lot of fun though. So, but
from what I understand, it's backed by Mike Tyson.
For real? Are you just saying that?
Yeah, he was on Joe Rogan talking, because PSF used to be Relevant before.
Relevant Sports. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And he was on a Joe Rogan podcast talking about it. We're wearing a Relevant shirt. I'm not sure if that's this now that it's been rebranded. Maybe he no longer is, but I know he was a part. He was a backer in the beginning of the parent company of this before the rebranding to PSF. That's for sure.
Speaking of Mike Tyson, have you ever watched Mike Tyson Mysteries?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, it's the greatest cartoon of the 20th century. You've got to check it out.
I'm writing that down right now.
Mike Tyson Mysteries. It's got Norm Macdonald on there. Oh. It's a funny show. It's a cartoon. But it's like
what's it on?
I'm not even sure. Cartoon Network, maybe. I mean, I'm sure you can find it on if you have.
Okay, I'll look it up. Thanks, man. I need something else to watch.
It was fun. I think there's 3 seasons, maybe 4. It was just the quick little cartoon episodes. A lot of fun. Very adult. So I don't know if you have kids, but don't let the kids say, "Oh, a cartoon. Let's see." No, you do not want to watch this cartoon. Okay, that's good because look at Hair Bear.
Yeah,
that show. Laugh out loud to me was the good stuff. So, but I think that's it, man. That's about our time. We've been kicking this stuff here for about a half an hour. Like I said, my Friday show is usually short and sweet. I know it's Friday night. People don't want to sit here and listen to two knuckleheads talk Bears all night. So I want to thank you guys all for checking out. Actually, Shorty, you want to take a few questions real quick from the crowd over here? We had a few people jump in that had a few things. Your guy Hairbear was saying that he was listening to a lot of Packers podcasts, and they think Fields is a bust, of course, and then that Love is the next coming. Yeah, I've heard similar on Twitter. Shorty, have you got a lot of the trash talk going on your Twitter feed?
No, not really.
You're lucky because it's all over the place.
I try to be positive.
I try not to engage in trash talking. I just don't see the point of it. Yeah. It's like if you want to talk trash, first off, you're a Packer fan. Your opinion is irrelevant because you're probably stupid. So why would I care what you have to say?
Somebody tries to talk trash to me, I usually try to kill him with kindness. Just because I don't like. There's no reason for it.
Like there's nothing for us to. What especially with Packers. What are we going to say?
Right.
Yeah. 3 decades you've been kicking our ass.
Right. What are you going to do? Like, it's a new season. We're both 0-0. So,
Yeah. Brian Gilmer is talking about here. If from an earlier question, someone asks if they think they're going to, scrap Love and go to a rookie quarterback. Brian thinks they're going to give him some time and let him grow there. That's kind of what I was saying. How based on the fact that they kept him around, they could have moved on. They knew what was, they knew this draft class was coming up. They're scouts, just like all scouts. They're a few years ahead of the game. So if at some point they went to him and said, "Hey, there's a nice draft class possibly coming up," And at some point, say, you know what, we're going to roll with Love. We think Love's the guy. So I think they're going to be fine there.
Do, do
And
you
of
think
course,
that's maybe that's why they were so hasty in getting rid of Rodgers, because they knew that they didn't have much time left to give him a chance before they had this draft?
it's possible. From what I understand, that the relationship between Rodgers and Packer brass was just eroding over time, and it was going to break at some point. It just happened here. Cornelius says he doesn't care about Jordan Love, only Justin Fields, and that is a good way to think about it, because if Jordan Love's good, it doesn't matter, because if Justin Fields is good as well, then the Bears are in a good place. The Bears right now have a leg up because they've had their guy in place now for a year. So I like that.
I love what Cornelius always has to say. It's always good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. Another hair bear we saw last night, Mahomes. What he did last year's Bears team with no run, with just the run game and bad wide receivers. Did you see that the PFF stat today talking about how the chief receivers were like the worst graded? Like, oh my god, dude, that's
I saw a lot of people talking about, nobody was mentioning that shit last year when Justin Fields didn't have a receiving core to throw to.
Yeah,
it's going to change this year. Claypool is in year 2. He's been looking good, even after his injury. He's looking good coming back, per Darnell Mooney. You have DJ Moore is going to be electric, so it's going to be exciting. This receiving core is going to make Justin Fields different.
Exactly. 3-point stance. Paz says if we shut down the run, we win. That's actually my key to the game. If they can stop the run, because last year the Packers in 2 games went for 350 yards, I believe. They ran all over the Bears, but that was Armon Watts. We talked about it on our show on Tuesday. It was Angela Blackson.
Yes.
That was Al-Karim Muhammad. That was a bunch of bums, and this year's D-line is different in experience, but I trust Andrew Billings. I trust DeMarcus Walker. They got these guys to come in that they're good against the run. We didn't see it in preseason, but of course we didn't even see these guys in preseason. So you think they can stop on the Packers running game?
I'm impressed with the rookies, the rookie defensive tackles. I think they're an awesome 1-2 punch. I mean, the first game, like right out of the gates, Zach Pickens had an awesome sack. I know it's preseason. But I'm a little more concerned about the run game. I think that we're going to be a lot better in the passing game. But, once you throw in, however many running back draws, in the game, is that a way to mitigate Yannick's talents? Because he's not the best run stopper. I am concerned about the running game and the Packers driving it down our throats just because of the Love concerns with all the young receiving core.
Sports Chicago Style asked, does our right tackle get the same leeway as the Chiefs right tackle? Lined up too deep plus an early get off. I'm an O-line guy, so I'm always going to be cheering for the O-line, getting any advantage they can. I follow a bunch of ex-O linemen on Twitter, and they all say the same thing. That's just what the game is now. It's the way the timing is. They're timing it just like a fraction of a second early, but it's like such a good timing. The way the refs, it's like the mechanism of the offsides play, and then lining up too deep. I think it was Mitchell Schwartz on Twitter talked about how every game what he would do is he would line up deep, ask the ref if he was good, and if the ref said fine, he would just keep testing it. And then you get to the point where he was at his level, and the ref say, "Hey, you're too far back." So then he knew that's his baseline for the whole game. And it's a different game these days, man. They give these tackles a little extra to go deep. Like I saw someone shared a screenshot on Twitter today. They showed an O-line from the 90s versus what happened last night with the Chiefs, and that the old school O-line, man, that O-line is like a really tight V. Those tackles aren't deep. The head is like right there next to the guard's hip pocket. These days, man, they just let those tackles. And part of it, I think, is because they know they have to. It's an offensive game. They want the offensive quarterback. It's a quarterback-driven league. Let's protect the quarterback as much as the guys that I want defense, I want sacks. Well, the NFL wants scoring and they want the quarterbacks to thrive. So
They want games like those, the last couple of playoffs with, the AFC, this back and forth, just fun, high scoring games. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I just think that's how the league is going to be now. They're not going to care too much. Look at this pigeon. So when you watch Mike Tyson Mysteries, you'll know all about pigeon.
Okay, I got it down right now. We're gonna watch some TV after this, so I'll check that out for sure.
Brian, the PSF app is not fixed with the Android yet. We had a meeting on Wednesday, and they told us that they have
Friday.
it
By today.
Yeah,
thought it would be done.
But they said they have it and they're waiting for approval. So I guess right now it's you know how it's anything legal. Whenever you get lawyers involved, they got to dot the T's, cross the I's, and all that mess. And they're going through all that stuff and they're making sure that everything's fine with the app. But they tell us it's coming for sure.
Mm-hmm. And when they tell us it's coming, we will let you guys know for sure. Check Twitter. Brian, I have your number. I'll let you know.
Oh man, look at you.
Check Twitter. Brian's been on our show before.
Okay.
He's a cool dude. But check your Twitter. Sign up for the PSF app as well on Twitter. I should say follow the PSF.
All of them. Yeah.
PSF _ app, I think, on Twitter.
Oh man, I had it queued up here. Look. Oh man, I got it there. If you're watching on the video channel, there it is. At PSF _ app. So there it is.
That's it, huh?
Sunday, me and you. So I'm not sure what time we go live. Is it like we're supposed to kick in a few minutes early, right? I think.
Yeah, 15 minutes before. Jeez, you're lucky you have me, Lester.
I'm telling you, like, this is my show. This is my solo show. But man, I don't like having none of the bells and whistles on the side. I don't like doing the producer side of thing. The show I do with JB on Bear and Balance, we do it on Monday nights. He runs the board. Got so much stuff going on, man. I think we had like 9 articles pop up today at Windy City Gridiron. I'm just,
oh my goodness.
I got a real job. I got the Bears job. I'm too busy. So I am very appreciative they paired me with someone that can take care of the little things and kind of help me out, because
my pleasure.
My mind is I'm very WCG Second City Gridiron podcast video channel focused. So I appreciate the help there.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm happy to have you as my teammate too. We're gonna have fun this year, and it's gonna be it's awesome making friends with you through this. Not only coming on our show, but
it's kind of weird because I know your show knows that we talked about it in your show. We haven't talked about it in our show. We went to the same high school.
Yeah,
5 years apart. I graduated and you were coming in as a freshman, but no idea. We have like some friends in common. That's kind of how we kind of realize what's going on here. So, so shout out to the Round Lake Panthers out there in Lake County, Illinois. So it was kind of a weird coincidence that they kind of paired.
We are RL. We are RL.
Oh man, you got the chant and everything. Let's get the hell out of here.
But can I plug something up really quick?
Yeah, plug it. Plug whatever you got, Shorty. And make sure you guys all follow him on Twitter at Bears Country Pod.
And YouTube, my YouTube channel is Bears Country Productions, Bears Country Podcast, BCP. BCP, you guys know in chat here. But for anyone that doesn't, that might be listening to this later, we have actor, comedian, and Bears fan Matt Walsh, coming on the show this next Thursday, 9/14. He's been in a lot of things. He's in the show Veep. If you haven't seen that, it's absolutely hilarious. He was in Old School. He's been in so many things. The list goes on and on and on. And I met him years ago with Horatio Sands after a Bears game. We hung out for like 3 hours while I was waiting for my train to go home. And I'm just over the moon excited. I was able to get him to come on the show to kind of talk about our experience meeting each other for the first time, his Bears fandom, and things like that. So make sure you guys check that out. And thank you for that plug. Appreciate it. It's going to be fun.
So that's Thursday at 9
p.m. Eastern time. Yep. Yeah. Okay. 9/14 this Thursday, September.
What's up with that odd time start time? 9/14. Why not 15?
No. It's the date is September 14th.
Oh, September 14th. What time is the show?
9 p.m. Eastern time.
9 p.m. Eastern. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's 8 Central for everyone else here in the Chicagoland area. So
yeah.
All right, Shorty. I'm gonna shut us down here. I appreciate you jumping on. I know it was kind of impromptu. I called you last minute. I wasn't even gonna do a show because there was no injury report. I'm like, you know what? Why don't I give Shorty a call, see if he's free,
Yeah.
We could talk about the app and kill two birds with one stone. So,
I'm glad you did. Thanks for having me on, Lester.
All right. So until next time, bear down, my friends.
Can't wait to see that wall when it's done.